We're going to give out some awards, and I try to do this as quickly as possible because we have so many awards and letters to give out that I do want to give the students their just desserts and their moment of spotlight, but yet I don't want things to go on all night. So the first thing I'm going to start with here is the recognition of all of our letter winners, which I'm looking like that might have gotten torn off my front page there. All right, we're going to start off with district and state music contest. We had our own solo and ensemble festival. Sometimes we call it pre-contest, but we had some students play there for their actual rating, and I'd like to recognize those students. I'd like to have them please stand. Emma Reiser, horn solo. Alec Walls, trumpet solo. Isaac Langford, clarinet solo. Grace Bellman, flute solo. I'd like them to stand and be recognized for performing their solo. All right, very good. Now I'd like to recognize students that received a 2 rating on their solo districts, and I'd like them to stand when I call their name, and please hold your applause until I finish the rather lengthy list. All right, McKenna Pipes, clarinet. Kennedy Stark, flute. Becca Deathridge, flute. Jackson Kropp, tenor sax. Brandon Herrera, bassoon. Jacob Rains, trombone. Carson Kropp, trumpet. Scott Rosa, trumpet. Madeline Prom, trumpet. Stephanie Medley, horn. Lydia Boland, horn. Harrison Hutnick, horn. Chase Mason, trombone. Nick Bogart, tuba. Samantha Medley, snare drums. And I am Wooten, clarinet. These are students that received a 2 rating on the solo district. And then we had 2 ensembles and districts that received a 2 rating. The percussion ensemble, Clayton Brashears, Tim Fuller, Samantha Medley, Monica Rosa, Gannon Stark, and Madeline Severe. And then a saxophone trio, Caleb Brevenstein, Garrett Lambert, and Kyle Layton Floyd. Let's have them stand. All right, and now these students received a 1 for their solo at district contest, and were awarded the opportunity to advance to state. Okay, those soloists are Caleb Brevenstein, alto saxophone, Levi Anderson, snare drum, Hannah Harstead, euphonium, Wyatt Eichman, baritone saxophone, Cooper Smith, alto saxophone, Joe Angles, clarinet, Joe Angles, bass clarinet, Katie Mosley, flute, Gannon Stark, snare drum, Katie Wilson, bassoon, Abby Reinhardt, clarinet, Olivia Jobson, flute, Mitchell Sidden, clarinet, Delaney Seymour, flute, Sean Kalush, piano, Michael Fuller, timpani, Monica Rosa, snare drum, Alex Trout, alto saxophone, and Nathan Jacob, trumpet. These were all students who received a 1. And Kylie Oxler and Alex and Claire Buckman. Sorry, I thought they... If you received a 1 for your solo in districts, please stand. I must have grabbed last year's sheet or something. Trust me, I think I check these lists 3 or 4 times and go through exactly off the computer from the state, and I check spellings, and I go on Power School, make sure everything's right. It seems like I always mess something up, so I guess it's the way of someone to keep me humble or something. But anyway, I apologize, students, so I apologize. Okay, ensembles that received a 1 district, the saxophone trio of Jackson Kropp, Ben Varnell, and Jackson Amber, the flute trio of Katie Mosley, Delaney Seymour, and Olivia Garcia, the saxophone quartet, Cooper Smith, Alex Trout, Jackson Kropp, Wyatt Eichman, brass quintet, Nathan Jacob, Scott Rosa, Stephanie Medley, Rachel Hawk, Aaron Stockman, The clarinet trio, Kylie Oxler, Alex Meza, and Claire Buckman. The percussion quintet, Clayton Brashears, Michael Fuller, Monica Rosa, Sean Kalush, Levi Anderson. The clarinet quartet, Mitchell Sid and Cooper Smith, Joe Angles and Abby Reinhardt. The trombone quartet of Rachel Hawk, Brianna Bird, Chase Mason, Alex Murray. The trombone quartet of Claire Mason, Jacob Raines, Austin Burnett, and Chloe Rothman. And then all those students that received a 1 at districts advanced to state. And here's our state results. Those students that played a solo receiving a silver rating, which you could say is like a 2. It's a new thing that the state has this year, but it's called silver now at state. Those students are Alex Meza, clarinet, Olivia Garcia, flute, Kylie Oxler, clarinet, Claire Buckman, clarinet, Aaron Stockman, tuba, Amelia Jefferson, flute, Sarah Kane, flute, Alex Murray, trombone, and Rachel Hawk, trombone. Did I get that one right? And we had some ensembles also receive a silver rating in state. The percussion quintet, Clayton Brashears, Michael Fuller, Monica Rosa, Sean Kalush, and Levi Anderson. The clarinet quartet, Mitchell Sid and Cooper Smith, Joe Angles, Abby Reinhardt. The trombone quartet, Rachel Hawk, Brianna Bird, Chase Mason, Alex Murray. And the trombone quartet, Claire Mason, Jacob Raines, Austin Burnett, and Chloe Wolfman. 2 silver ratings for state. So I'm getting on a roll now. All right, soloists earning a gold medal or equivalent to a 1 in the old system. Levi Anderson, snare drum, Hannah Harstead, euphonium, Wyatt Eichmann, baritone saxophone, Cooper Smith, alto saxophone, Joe Angles, clarinet, Joe Angles, bass clarinet, Katie Mosley, flute, Gannon Stark, snare drum, Katie Wilson, bassoon, Abby Reinhardt, clarinet, Olivia Jobson, flute, Mitchell Sidden, clarinet, Delaney Seymour, flute, Sean Kalush, piano, Michael Fuller, timpani, Monica Rosa, snare drum, Alex Trout, alto saxophone, and Nathan Jacob, trumpet. All right, and then we had some ensembles receive a gold or a 1 rating at state. The saxophone trio, Jackson Crop and Ben Varnell and Jackson Amber. The flute trio, Katie Mosley, Delaney Seymour, and Olivia Garcia. The saxophone quartet, Cooper Smith, Alex Trout, Jackson Crop, and Wyatt Eichmann. The brass quintet, Nathan Jacob, Scott Rosa, Stephanie Medley, Rachel Hawk, and Aaron Stockman. And the clarinet trio, Kylie Oxler, Alex Meza, and Claire Buckman. All right, now I'm going to read off all the students that lettered in band this year, met the requirements and turned in the application. And I'm going to read off my old list. I had it all typed out where I could read it perfectly tonight, but that's in Never Never Land, I think, or maybe Harry Potter or someone did something to it. But anyway, I'd like these people to stand when I read their names off. Students lettering for the very first time. They'll be receiving a patch and a bar and a button. And students and parents, all these things are in an envelope for the students, and they can pick it up from their band director after the concert tonight or tomorrow morning is fine as well. All right, first year letter winners are Samantha Medley, Alex Walls, Cole Creek, Kenny Riley, Jacob Buckles, Carson Crop, Maggie Steinbeck, Leah Pershing, Grace Bellman, Kyle Layton Floyd, Peyton Dollins, Christine Mazingo, Ethan Hoff, Isaac Langford, Tim Fuller, Peyton Clevenger, and let's see, Kennedy Stark, Nick Bogart, page 2, Nathan Amor, David Mosley, and Emma Reiser. Your first year letter winners. like to add also Felix Labrador to that list. Any others that I missed? I apologize. If I missed you, stand up. It's okay. It's all right. It's on me. Sean Mosher, please stand. All right, all of our second-year letter winners. Jacob Rains, Aaron Stockman, McKenna Pipes, Jackson Crop, Juliana Sala, Chloe Rothman, Monica Rosa, Madeline Crum, Amelia Jefferson, Sarah King, Austin Burnett, Jackson Hamburg, Caleb Reibenstein, Nate Scarrow, page 2. Did I miss anybody? Year 2. Delaney Seymour. Your second-year letter winners. Your third-year letter recipients. Scott Rosa, Anna Wooten, Mitchell Sidden, Ben Varnell, Claire Buckman, Olivia Garcia, Abigail Reinhardt, Lydia Boland, Cooper Smith, Allison Gatzenmeyer, Kate Wilson, Savannah Hinton, Andrew Steinbeck, Alex Murray, Levi Henderson, Michael Fuller, Harrison Hutnick, Madeline Severe, Brianna Bird, Sean Kalush, Wyatt Eichman, Brandon Herrera, page 2, and that should be all. Miss anybody? If I did, please stand. They all know they lettered, so it's no surprise. I just want to make sure that this one. In my defense, the reason that it's out of order, I'm having to kind of search for years, is because some of them turned it in late and they're all added at the end and kind of mixed up, so it's not totally my fault. But you can blame me, I'm used to it anyway, it's fine. Go for it. All right, and our 4-year letter winners, Brady Creek, Katie Mosley, Stephanie Medley, Clayton Brashears, Rachel Hawk, Kylie Oxler, Alex Trout, Chase Mason, Jacob King, Alex Meza, Joe Angles, Nathan Jacob. Now I start to look for names at the bottom of the list. Gannon Stark, Tyson Stein, Olivia Jobson, and Olivia Goodman. Did I miss anybody, seniors? All right, I got it right. All right, even though the jazz band didn't perform tonight, we have some jazz band awards to hand out. The jazz band finished their year about 2 weeks ago at the 18th and Vine Jazz Festival. We actually went to a jazz festival in Maryville back in February, and we had our first band perform and our second band perform up there. And in each class throughout the day, they give an outstanding soloist, and both our bands had the outstanding soloist. For second bands, it's Felix Labrador on alto saxophone and Cooper Smith on alto saxophones. They stand everywhere and receive their certificate. Thank you, guys. All right, and then we went to the 18th and Vine Jazz Festival. We had several students receive an outstanding musicianship. And when I like to read their name and have them all come to the front of the stage to get their certificate. All right, those students are Tyson Stein, Cooper Smith, Felix Labrador, Scott Rosa, John Paul Williams, Tim Fuller, Max Brown, Liam Hardy, and Leah Pershing. It's been a long year. Sorry about that. Couldn't find my microphone there for a minute. And also at 18th and Vine, they give a plaque for, like they have jazz bands perform from 8 o'clock in the morning to about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And out of all the bands that perform, I mean, there's several soloists, and they give out a soloist of the day, like one soloist for like all the classes. And we had that person, Cooper Smith. So I'm going to challenge Cooper in front of the whole audience. I think Cooper should try out for all district and all state jazz band next year. Great. Thank you. All right, and then we have one in-house jazz band award that we give every year. It's sponsored by Instrumentalist Magazine to outstanding jazz musicianship or jazz musician in our program. And this young man has faithfully served with his keyboard playing not only the jazz band, but also he's been featured a lot with the symphonic band on piano. And our Louis Armstrong Award this year goes to senior Sean Kluge. All right, Dr. Doss has some special awards for a concert band, just pertaining to concert band that he'd like to present at this time.
As I mentioned earlier, sometimes even us old guys make mistakes, and I completely neglected to acknowledge a group of students earlier on in the evening, and I'd like to do that now. Okay, so you read the program. We got rid of the whole idea of chair order this semester, and we rotate parts. That's why they were getting up and moving around so much, so that everybody has a chance to play the first parts and the second parts, and they're not always sitting by the same people. The way we handled solos this year in the music that we played for this semester, all the solos were open to anybody, not just the person who would happen to be sitting in a certain location in the room, but anybody, the solos were open to anybody. And we did an audition for each of these. So if you played any of the solos this evening with concert band, would you please stand and accept your applause now? Because I messed up earlier, I'm sorry. Soloists. In the past, there's been, I think what's called the MVP award for concert band. Is that okay? This year, I could not come up with one person who really stood out as being exceptional in all aspects of concert band. Not that I couldn't come up with any, I just couldn't come up with one. I came up with a lot of people who would fit the bill. And so instead of trying to just pick one person and knowingly not acknowledge several others, what I did instead was I came up with a couple of different awards that I'd like to hand out. The first one is called the Service Award, and these are for the students who all year long have either shown up early, stayed late, gone the extra mile to set up the equipment. They're the ones who get the chairs in the stand set up and put away for everybody, or get all the percussion equipment set up for the entire section every day. And so, if I call your name, could you please come back? I will say, in the past about 2 or 3 weeks, a whole lot more people have fit this bill. We've also been looking at leadership positions for next year, so might be some correlation there. But these are the students who all season long, all year long, have really done quite a bit to serve the ensemble, oftentimes without any sort of recognition from people around them. So if I call your name, could you please come up? I have just pictures for you. Eric Enriquez, Ben Varnell, Abby Bird, Liam Harvey, and Jay Johnson. Service award. And then one other award, obviously my first year here, all of these students, we all met last summer. And so when I say I met this person last summer, well, that is everybody on the stage. But there was one person in particular last summer who I'm not sure if it was her choice or she was basically told, you need to go talk to Dr. Doss about just strategies you can use to get better at playing the instrument. And when I first met this person, it was a struggle to get a few notes out. And my gosh, the amount of improvement that she's made this year. You heard her perform by herself earlier tonight and stand up. I'd like to present a certificate to Juliana Saad as the most improved member of concert band.
Now we have some, I guess, full band in-house awards that we're going to give. And I always have to say this every year because our bands are so great. I mean, there are so many students deserving of awards. I mean, it's just impossible to come up with something for everyone who truly deserves one. But we are going to recognize a few people. We have an MVP award that we give out in the freshman and sophomore class. And our freshman MVP this year is Mr. Felix Labrador. Our sophomore MVP is Jackson Crop. For our junior award, when we first opened Liberty North in 2010 and 2011, we created a special award for the Martin Jacobs Award. They have something similar at Liberty High School. I'm not for sure the patron who they named it after, but at Liberty, we named it the Martin Jacobs Award because Dr. Jacobs is a fine supporter of the fine arts. I mean, he supports all the programs in the school, but he's very, he stands out among principals for supporting our Fine Arts Department, so I thought it was very appropriate to name the Outstanding Junior Award after him. So the Martin Jacobs Outstanding Junior Award goes to Mr. Cooper Smith. We also have a marching band award, kind of an overall person for marching band. Sometimes anyone involved with the marching band, the award goes to. And we've had a young lady who served as drum major for the last 2 years, and she is sincerely one of the nicest people I've ever met. And she really is a friend to everybody in the marching band. And I am anyone who, I mean, I am not exaggerating at all. And I mean, she can get along with everybody, and I think that is such an important skill in life. And she's going to be a music major and study music education at the University of Arkansas. So our marching band award goes to Miss Rachel Hawk. We have an award that is sponsored by the United States Marine Corps, and the Marine Corps, they're known for Semper Fi, Semper Fidelis. And this award, I'm just going to read what it says. presented by the United States Marine Corps Youth Foundation, the Marine Corps League, in recognition of diligence, dedication, and musical excellence as a performing high school bandsman and soloist. This award goes to Mr. Nathan Jacob. All right, we have the Patrick S. Gilmore Award for Outstanding Musicianship in High School Band. And this young lady, it's not easy to do when you're the only person in the symphonic band that plays your instrument, and especially when you've got tons of solos to play in front of very critical audiences, high-pressure situations. And so just a jewel of a player and a person. Our Patrick S. Gilmore Award goes to a euphonium player, Ms. Hannah Harstead. All right, and then we have one more award to give out. And the John Philip Sousa Award goes to the outstanding senior of our band program. And this year, I just couldn't decide. We just had so many outstanding ones. And I had two students who were multiple all-state musicians, multiple years, I think, since their sophomore year. Multiple ones in district and state contests, played in the musical. Our cadet teaching this year to be music majors. So our John Philip Sousa Award winners are Joe Angles and Katie Mosley. All right, one left. All right, we have, whenever we open the school, again, trying to follow suit with some of the things that our sister school, Liberty High School, does. They have the Liberty High School Band Hall of Fame, and we have community members, and maybe even some parents in the audience, if you grew up in Liberty, that might be in that Band Hall of Fame. But anyway, in 2011, we opened the Liberty North Band Hall of Fame, and it's a quite difficult list to get in there. So, you know, we're talking the top 5% of our band students. You have to either get a 1 at state all 4 years on a solo, or you have to make all-state band at least once, or you have to be an alternate or honorable mention twice. So we have 3 inductees this year, a really, really good band class, these seniors. So Alex Trout, Katie Mosley, Joe Angles, Hall of Fame, Liberty North Band. All right, if we could have the Dixieland band come to the front of the stage now, please.